mentioned a couple of times Jack Gibson's name, Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead, and all the legends we've spoken to have had words to say about him. How do you reflect on and remember Jack Gibson's influence?
Yeah, it was very, very special. I remember when he was first signed to come to Parramatta, and the fear that I had, because I'd heard a lot of stories about him and stuff, and when he was signed by us, I went, wow, that's fantastic. But you knew, I mean, I was famous for hiding in holes and trying, getting away with things and stuff like that. I knew I wouldn't get that with Jack. So my attitude changed when he came to the club. And, it was just enormous. He'd help you off the field as well, Jack. It was so important that your off field was great. I mean, if you're playing well, that means your off field was going well too. So he was a real advocate that he'd look after you off the field and make sure everything was all right when you got on the field. So he was amazing. I'll never forget. He always talked in riddles, Jack. I remember Sterling coming up to him once and saying, "Jack, I've got a problem with my kicking game. What can I do?" And he would say, "Well, kick to the seagulls." And he said that at a team meeting. We all just thought, "Okay, what does that mean?" And then 3 weeks later, we're playing at the SCG, and where the seagulls are, there's obviously no human, and that's where Peter would kick the ball, and there wasn't around anyone, so it'd be away from the fullback or whatever. And it all made sense, all fell into place. So he spoke in riddles like that. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned attitude. When we spoke to Bear, Peter Wynn, Mick Cronin, Steve Edge, they spoke about your dedication to training and that attitude.
Yeah.
Any messages you'd like to send to our previous guests?
Well, they had it all wrong. Well, they used to get to training at 6 o'clock. We used to train at Granville Park at 6. I'd get there about 3 o'clock, 3:30 and do extras, do 100 metre sprints and 200 metre sprints and stuff. So they never knew that all the work that I was doing. So by the time they got to training,
you were trained.
Yeah, I was buggered.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anymore. So.
Yeah. Reflecting upon your career, there's just a stack of personal highlights. I could be here all day. 78 tries for Parramatta. You scored a try in every one of your test appearances for Australia. And without fail, people mention that try against Canterbury in the 83 final series. We talk about moments. What are the moments that stand out for you?
That one probably didn't stand out as much until afterwards. I got played a fair bit. And the one that was stood out for me, the most important one, was when we played St George in '84 in the final. And we were getting pretty much beat most of the game. It was probably one of the best games of football that I was involved with. It was just fast and it was tough and a lot of open play. But it was only they were beating us 7-4. I mean, it was only a minute to go, and then we got a couple of penalties that brought us up close to their try line, and then it came out. Brett Kenny threw a ball over the top of a few players, and he jinked and stuff like that, and left it open for me to dive over in the corner. That for me was most important as far as Parramatta was concerned. It's a simple try, and it was a two-way thing for me because Steve Rogers was trying to get into the grand final, and I became good mates with Steve, and he was around my legs, and I could see the disappointment straight away in his face when I scored. So it was exciting, and I thought, how good's this? At the same time, I felt sorry for Sludge because he deserved it more than anyone. So that, for me, a try like that was probably more important for that other try that gets documented fairly well. It was a high scoring game, so it wasn't any defence that day, so it was a good time to score a try like that anyway. It was something like 30, I think we won 36 to 28 or something like that, so it was a high scoring game. So for me the St George try was obviously the most important one.
I'll ask you a tough question. We spoke to Crow and Edgy a bit about regrets and losses and things like that. Do you have moments that you replay in your mind, or do you just push them to the side and move on?
Negative stuff,
yeah.
Thinking back now, you mean? Going back
yeah.
Well, I would have changed my attitude if I had my time again.
Yeah.
Seeing how important it all was, and how I could have done something a little bit better afterwards.
Yeah.
With the way things turned out and stuff, like Sterling and how he's done all with the media and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, attitude. If I had my time again, I'd change my attitude.
Yeah. Now your son's a funny bloke. Speaking of reflecting, when you think back of, obviously you played at the highest level and he played at high levels himself, how do you view the football career of your son Eric Jr.?
I thought it was pretty amazing. I mean, the game's changed so much. For the amount of work that he done on the field as a winger compared to what I was doing in my era, And in my day, it wasn't. I mean, it was important to take a hit up every now and then, but it wasn't something that you weren't, pushed to, do as many hit ups as you, and how much yardage you can make and stuff like that. When Eric was in that time, the footy was really changing at that point. His work rate was amazing, and taking the hit ups from your own line, those big hard hit ups that no one wants to take, he had to do those, and he'd probably do coming out of his own trial line, do two of those instead of 6. And he's at one time there he was doing something like 15, 20 hit ups a game and stuff, which is, I was lucky to do 2 or 3 hit ups. But it's different for me because there's a lot of opportunities happening with the players that were inside me and stuff. But yeah, I look at his career and his work rate and work ethic was 5 times mine.
This could be a silly question. Is it a coincidence that you had a relatively similar sort of in-your-face playing style as a winger? Is that just coincidence, or is it genetics? Or?
Oh, I'd say it's genetics. Yeah. I didn't notice it until he actually was a regular first grader and how he was sort of bending over and trying to knock the tackler away and stuff like that. Yeah, that became more evident to me when he was playing regular first grade.
Yeah, and put you on the spot again, sorry, but did you have a moment of Eric's career that you think, gee, that's my boy?
Yeah, there's a couple of tries there. I remember I can't remember who they played, but yeah, there was one particular try that it was against West Tigers. They had a really good game. He came up and hit someone in defence, and they dropped the ball, and he ended up scoring.
At Pertek Stadium, I think it was about,
it
would have been 08, I think. I remember in 09, the intercept try against St George.
Yeah, that was amazing,
Another special moment that I thought, not that he's my son, but anyway. Now Eric Jr. has taken you into the multimedia world, and the Growth Boys, I should say, all feature in Undergrowth. Anyone who hasn't caught an episode, how would you describe Undergrowth?
Is that it? We got us. How you going, everyone? Welcome to the Undergrowth. Dad?
Well, you've just said it all. You took the words right out of my mouth. Undergrowth, what are we about? What do we do?
Well, cheers first.
All the best with our new beer.
Yeah, Murray's Beer, it's our new sponsor. Everyone gets our first sponsor, so I'm pretty excited. But yeah, I guess what we're doing here is we've been asked to talk about the Undergrowth and what it's all about. And it's pretty hard when someone just puts you on the spot like that, isn't it?
What is it all about? It's it's off the cuff conversations about footy.
Yep.
Generally speaking.
All the stuff that you're not allowed to say and do on slick commercial television. I think we're trying to go with that.
Like when you swore last week.
A little bit anti-establishment maybe. Say the things that maybe aren't politically correct, but the masses maybe are thinking about, and we're trying to speak to the audience more directly opposed to going through all those plush
you've always
fancy
been
channels.
Growing up.
Rebellious.
You've
always been rebellious.
Rebellious. You've always been rebellious.
I have I?
Yeah.
That's why I've got Rude Boy on my beer.
Yep.
What's yours say, dickhead?
Fred, but Fred does look like a rude boy.
He does look like a rude boy.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, we were doing an audio podcast, and that was getting some pretty good response. And the way the world's going, I thought it was probably a good idea. Dad and I had a chat about going visual, so we got the backdrops made up and just started filming us talking shit. So
I didn't think it was a great idea because my head is not good for visual. It's good for radio.
Well, don't sell yourself short. It's a nice shiny head. You nicked yourself on the head.
I
Look
know.
at that. Can you get a close up on that? Look at that.
Yeah, and here. But I'll play on.
What are you, cutting your head with a whippersnipper or something? So we pretty much just wanted to take it from just being audio to a visual because I think that engages better with the masses. And here we are. We're still learning. We're kind of growing a little bit each week, eh?
I've gotten smarter, yeah.
You're a lot better than me at all, always. Actually, I've got to give credit to Dad because it was all in my head, all this idea, and it's one thing to have an idea, but then to, as yourself behind the camera knows, it's another thing to edit it all and polish it all up and put it all together. So, yeah, all right, you're good at that.
Thanks.
You're better than that at me.
Thanks,
you're better than me at that as well.
Yeah.
So it's not only football, music. Now you're also better at me than editing stuff. But
Don't sell yourself short.
thanks, mate. Thanks a lot. Were you supposed to say what I'm good at?
Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, right, okay. I'm good at selling myself short, pretty much. You're saying, but that's what Undergrowth's about. Just a little bit in establishment, talk about footy, and just speak to the audience directly, and just have some fun and be dickheads and swear a bit here and there because we do in person.
And we get some help from James Phelps from the Sunday Telegraph.
Yeah,
too, don't
James Phelps comes along. Good work bringing him up. I almost forgot. He's easy to forget, little Phelpsy. And he comes on and he gives us all the news and the topical stuff. And we just love life and rugby league and talking shit. And we're glad if you can follow us on our Facebook, which is at Undergrowth, and our Instagram, which is at Undergrowth, and our Twitter, which is at Undergrowth. Undergrowth, obviously spelt under and growth like our
That was a
last
good
name.
idea to put Undergrowth, keep it the theme all the way through the social media.
You've got to do that because then it's up to you too hard to find.
Don't sell yourself short.
I'm
It's
smarter
good.
than I
It's
look.
very good.
All right, thanks everyone. Listen and follow and watch.
Passion for music. Can the punters still see you play, and where can they catch you?
Yeah.
Have a free plug.
Free plug, yeah. We're all over the place. We're playing at Donohue's pub at Emu Plains next Friday. But we play all over the place. We play Country, Orange and Bathurst and Baldface Stag Hotel. We've got a few gigs coming up soon there. All over the place. So at Donohue's, and we're playing at Club Cronulla, I think a couple of weeks after that as well. So yeah, all over the place.
Now, we had a little bit of look at the time of filming. I think we're 9 rounds into the season. We just came off the back of a victory of the Dogs last night at ANZ. How do you see this current Eels outfit?
Yeah, I think they're pretty special. They've got some great players. They've got Kieran Foran. Unfortunately, he's not there for a few weeks, but he's just taken them around the park super. And you got Semi that can do anything at any time. He's amazing. But the way he plays, Semi, his hands are like he's been playing for 50 years. He's just got this natural root of the game that's very special. And they get it to him and they use him. They can do a lot of things out there. But our halves are so much better than what they have been. And they're playing behind a better forward pack too, so they're able to do those sort of things as well.
I heard Brad Arthur on the radio last night said Semi's doing pretty well for a guy who a few years ago didn't know if you put your foot out and caught the ball. But
Absolutely, it's amazing.
Yeah.
He's a natural talent. He's just naturally got it.
Was it he came into Wenty and went for a line out? Was that when the ball went out? His first game for Wenty, he went for a line out.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. It has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Thank you very much, and just
thank you.
another terrific addition to our Legend series on Commons Road. So thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for allowing me on your program. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.